evening and good to have you with us in this Monday night edition of the Urban Debate. One more time, viewers, we are going to put the focus on the horrible massacre of policemen that took place in Kanpur last week. 8 policemen were shot dead. But that's not all. And the gangster who organized this ambush is still on the run. It's been over 72 hours, a massive manhunt from Uttar Pradesh to India-Nepal border to Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh has begun. Yet, 72 hours later and more, we still don't know where Vikas Dubey, the gangster who killed 8 policemen, is right now. Now, more and more details of the investigation have emerged. More and more details of his links with politicians, details of his links with policemen have emerged. 4 policemen have been suspended so far. But that's not all. And honestly speaking, these are probably the junior most, the small fry. His links went higher up. He was deeply connected. He was so brazen that he dared the cops to raid him. And then he killed them all. I want to first take you through the details of what happened that night. Because listen to this. There was first attempt that was made where the cops returned after being mocked, humiliated, threatened and laughed upon by his men. They then hatched a bigger plan to go back with more policemen and arrest Vikas Dubey. But somebody from their own team leaked that information much ahead of this planned raid. And so, around midnight, between midnight and 1 a.m., when they reached Vikas Dubey's residence, the gangster, the Don, was waiting. There was a earth mover, a land mover in the middle of the road that stopped the police. So they all came out of their vehicles. And then came the attack. These men, Vikas Dubey's men, were stationed all across at vantage point on rooftops. They used at least 100 bullets. There were crude bombs that were hurled at the police team. AK-47s were used, apart from other extremely sophisticated weaponry that these criminals had. They didn't stop there. They then stepped out, caught hold of the circle officer and other senior policemen and brutalized them, tortured them. The details are shocking and spine-chilling. Not only were some of these cops shot more than half a dozen times, shot in the head, but reports suggest that sticks and axe was even used to further butcher them. Yes, this is the kind of fearlessness that runs in Uttar Pradesh even now. For all the claims made about encounters and putting criminals behind bars during Yogi Adityanath's time, a man who is not even amongst the top 10 most wanted of Uttar Pradesh has dared the police, slaughtered the policemen, gotten away and roams free as we speak. Because this is not possible unless there is some detailed link. This is not possible unless somebody is protecting him and shielding him. Before I come to that angle, I want to play out the comment that we got from one of the cops who was part of this team, who got injured. Listen to what he says, how he narrates this entire horrific incident. Listen it.
पूरा घटनाक्रम इस तरह से है। उस दिन जिस दिन घटना हुई है उस दिन सबसे पहले मुझे एसओबी चौबेपुर द्वारा फ़ोन से सूचना दी गई थी कि एक दबिश में चलना है। तो हम लोग जो है दबिश के लिए यहाँ से अपने थाने से करीबन 12:30 बजे के टाइम पे निकल गए थे और निकलने के बाद में वहाँ तकरीबन जो है हम लोग 1 बजे पहुँचे हैं। जैसे ही पहुँचे हैं तो पहले तो हम लोगों ने गाड़ियों को अपनी गाड़ियों को जो है वहीं नज़दीक वहाँ से करीबन 150-200 मीटर जो है पार्क कर दिया था। तो पार्क करने के बाद में वहाँ से हम लोग पैदल गए हैं। जी हम लोग पैदल पहुँचे तो रास्ते में उसने एक जेसीबी लगा के रखी थी पहले से। वो जेसीबी लगा कर रखी, तो वहाँ से हम लोग जो है एक एक करके जैसे ही उसके घर के नज़दीक पहुँचे हैं, तभी अचानक क्या हुआ, हमारे ऊपर जो है ताबड़तोड़ चारों तरफ से फायरिंग होने लगी। चूँकि अचानक होती हुई फायरिंग से हम लोग अपने आप को बचाने के लिए एकदम से जो है जगह जगह पे जो है आड़ लेने लगे और छिपने लगे। और जो ही हम लोगों ने अपने आप को थोड़ा सा सुरक्षित महसूस किया और फिर फायरिंग की, लेकिन चूँकि टारगेट जो है हमें नज़र नहीं आ रहे थे, क्योंकि हम लोग नीचे की तरफ थे और वो लोग ऊपर की तरफ थे। और पहले ही राउंड में जो उन लोगों ने फायरिंग की थी उसमें हम लोगों के मैक्सिमम लोग जो है इंजर्ड हो चुके थे। बस यही घटनाक्रम है। बड़ी मुश्किल से फिर मैंने जो है 2 लोगों को, मेरे साथ जो 2 लोग थे, एक अजय सेंगर, अजय कश्यप, इनको गोली लग जाने के कारण फिर मुझे इन लोगों को निकालने की जिम्मेदारी मुझे ज़्यादा लगी। तो मैंने इन लोगों को निकालने का प्रयास किया और अल्टीमेटली मैं अपने प्रयास में सक्सेस हुआ। लेकिन हमारी टीम जो है वो एकदम शांत बैठ गई थी। शायद इसी वजह से जो है उनके साथ इस तरह की कैजुअल्टी हो गई। दूसरा ये कैजुअल्टी के सबसे कारण एक ये भी रहा कि वहाँ पे हम लोग टारगेट को बिल्कुल देख नहीं पा रहे थे और टारगेट हमको ऊपर से अच्छे से देख पा रहा था। हमारे जरा सी मूवमेंट पे वो हमारे ऊपर फायर कर दे रहा था, जो कि शायद हमें गोली लग जा रही थी।
Let's say good evening to our panelists. Over the next 1 hour, though, viewers, stay with me because I am going to bring out more angles, more bites, comments, versions that you must hear. This story cannot be ignored. The story reflects the kind of lawlessness that goes on, the brazenness of criminals in Uttar Pradesh. It reflects the nexus that runs between criminals and policemen. And it also raises question about the state of policing. And I will bring you one by one all of those inputs. But first up, let's say good evening to Manish Shukla, spokesperson for the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, Mr. T.R. Kakkar, former Commissioner of Police in Delhi, and Mr. M.C. Dwivedi, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, joins us this evening. But first, I actually want to go to Piyush Rai. Piyush is with the Times of India and has been exhaustively reporting on this story as well. Piyush, I actually still want to continue with what I started with, which is the brutality of this attack, the sheer brazenness, the kind of weapons they use. If you can share more details, how they were ready. It was a well thought out ambush, and these guys really had no chance. The policemen had no chance at all.
Yeah, thanks, Tanvi. The gory details of the encounter are already out in public domain. Initially, when this report started coming out, we all believed it was basically an encounter gone wrong. But then, there were the autopsy report of the DSP, DSP Devendra Mishra. It came out, and it had signs of revenge killing. It never looked like it was an encounter. So the initial theory of encounter was flat in the moment, and it only indicates to the brazenness of this entire incident that they were not only prepared, they were seeking revenge. They were waiting to seek revenge from these cops who might have had scuffle in the first go, and they wanted to seek revenge. So one thing that I've noticed here is that be it any top criminal or gangster in Uttar Pradesh, nobody likes to mess with a cop. That's the last thing they want to do, because once you mess with a cop, you're basically listed, you're basically marked. But here he brazenly opens indiscriminate fire, and he has the audacity to mutilate their bodies as well. This is basically sending a message. That he's not only prepared, he's well protected. So once you send out that message, this is basically bringing down the morale of the entire force. And what has the police or the government done till now? They have found few scapegoats, and they are trying to mount that entire tragedy on them only. But that's basically not true. Now there is a letter in the media that the deceased DSP had brought out his suspicion about the SHO there, the Chaubepur SHO, that he might be hands in gloves with the criminal Vikas Dubey. But then SSP did not take any concrete action. And let me remind you here that the SSP that time, Anand Dev Tiwari, he is known as encounter cop in Uttar Pradesh. Like, people who have seen, reported, or been in Uttar Pradesh, they know Anand Dev Tiwari as the encounter cop. He was When I was in Meerut, I have seen him, people boast about his criminal, the way he handles crime and, his crackdown against criminals. So, an SSP who is known to be, a hero among the policemen themselves, and all this was happening in his backyard, and he had no whiff about it. So, I think this is something which no one is able to digest.
Yes, and Piyush, before I go to our other panelists, the point that you made for viewers across the country to understand this. Essentially, you're saying that there was this Deputy SP, Devendra Mishra, who in March wrote a letter speaking about this SHO Vinay Tiwari's links with Vikas Dubey. Not only was that letter ignored, not only did Vinay Tiwari continue in this post until now when he's been suspended, but this was actually revenge killing for that?
No, this is something I really cannot say anything with certainty as of now. But one thing that I'm certain about is that all advances against Vikas Dubey was basically ignored, and was ignored during the regime of a cop who's known to be upright, who's known to go hammer and tongs against criminals. So one thing is for sure, but today I'm learning reports from the media reports. It is being said that there was no mention of that letter. There was no official receiving of that letter. So now the officials, the senior officials, are clearly denying the existence of that letter altogether. So that's the latest as of now.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in Mr. Manish Shukla of the BJP. Mr. Shukla, how is it that the entire state police, along with the help of other state polices, are not able to find this man? He's killed 8 of your men, 8 policemen. Many others are still in the hospital, and we are not able to find him?
2 और 3 जुलाई की रात में पुलिस विकास दुबे को गिरफ्तार करने उसके घर गई थी, और यहाँ एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटी जहां 8 पुलिसकर्मी हमारे शहीद हुए। उसके बाद मुठभेड़ में उसके 2 साथी मार दिए गए। एक साथी गिरफ्तार है, दयाशंकर अग्निहोत्री, उसका वीडियो भी आप लोगों ने देखा होगा। पुलिस ने 2.5 लाख का इनाम घोषित किया है, और पुलिस की कई पार्टियां उसकी गिरफ्तारी के लिए प्रयासरत है। एसटीएफ जांच कर रही है। जो पत्र की भी बात आप कर रही हैं, या और जो वीडियो भी दिख रहे हैं विभिन्न चैनलों पे, ये सारे इन्वेस्टिगेशन के पार्ट हैं, और एसटीएफ की जांच के दौरान ही सामने आए हैं, इसलिए हम और आप इसको देख भी पा रहे हैं। योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार में एक बात निश्चित है कि अपराधी चाहे जितना भी बड़ा होगा और उसको मदद करने वाले चाहे जितने भी रसूखदार होंगे, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित की जाएगी। मैं एक बात और कहना चाहता हूँ कि विकास दुबे 2 बार गिरफ्तार हुआ। एक बार 2001 में जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार थी तो गिरफ्तारी उसकी हुई। उसके बाद सरकार बदल गई और थाने के अंदर संतोष शुक्ला की हत्या हुई थी, और 2006 में किसकी सरकार थी मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि थाने के अंदर हत्या होने के बावजूद जो गवाह पुलिस वाले थे वो गवाही से मुकर गए। फिर 17 में जब हमारी सरकार आई तो विकास दुबे की हमारी सरकार ने गिरफ्तारी की। 1.5 साल से ज्यादा समय वो जेल में रहा, जमानत पर बाहर था, और उस दिन भी उसकी गिरफ्तारी हो इसके लिए पुलिस वहां गई थी। यानी हमारी नीति और नियति ये है कि सरकार की विकास दुबे जैसी मनोवृत्ति के लोग जेल में रहे, ये हमारी नीति और नियत है। घटना घटी है, हम लोग जिम्मेदारी लेने वाले दल के लोग हैं, हमारी सरकार इस घटना की जिम्मेदारी लेती है, और जो लोग इसमें शामिल हैं उनको वो अंजाम मिलेगा जिसके भागीदार वो होना चाहते हैं। जिस दंड के वो लायक है वो दंड उनको सुनिश्चित किया जाएगा। 2 और 3 जुलाई को एक बात मैं और कहना चाहता हूँ, उत्तर प्रदेश
नहीं, अभी तक तो वही तो बात नहीं। मनीष जी, एक मिनट, एक एक करके पॉइंट लेते हैं, और मैं इस बात पे आऊंगी कि 2001 में क्या हुआ था और कैसे वो छूट गए। लेकिन उसके पहले आपने सुना पीयूष राय क्या कह रहे थे कि अभी तो आपने जिनको सस्पेंड किया वो तो एकदम सबसे जो जूनियर मोस्ट है उनको आप स्केपगोट बना रहे हैं। जो बड़े लोग इतनी देर से सपोर्ट करते हैं विकास दुबे को, उनको कब अकाउंटेबल ठहराया जाएगा? 8 जाने चली गई, ये सब विकास दुबे की गलती नहीं है, ये उन सब की गलती है जो उसको आज तक बचाते हुए आए हैं, जो इस पुलिस फोर्स में भी विकास दुबे को प्रोटेक्शन दे रहे हैं। नहीं तो मैं मानने को तैयार ही नहीं हूं कि उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस 3 दिन से उसको ढूंढ नहीं पा रही। ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है?
नहीं तन्वी जी, हमको लगता है कि उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस पे सवाल नहीं खड़ा होना चाहिए। उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस प्रोफेशनल पुलिस है और विश्व में उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस का नाम है। ठीक, एक घटना हुई है तो दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना है। हमारे 8 पुलिसकर्मी शहीद हुए हैं, हम लोग मर्माहत भी हैं और कितनी कठोर कार्रवाई विकास दुबे के साथ हो रही है ये भी आप लोग को दिख रहा होगा। जो अवैध संपत्तियां उसने 20 साल में खड़ी की है उस पर भी कार्रवाई की जा रही है और केवल विकास दुबे पे नहीं, पूरब से लेकर पश्चिम तक अतीक अहमद, मुख्तार अंसारी, दुजान, भाटी सबकी अवैध संपत्तियों को भी अटैच किया जा रहा है और 2 और 3 तारीख को भी बड़े इनामियों की गिरफ्तारी की गई थी। उसी क्रम में विकास दुबे पे भी हमला हुआ था। देखिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है और जैसे जैसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन बढ़ रही है वैसे वैसे जो लोग भी दायरे में आ रहे हैं, पहले एसएचओ चौबेपुर को सस्पेंड किया गया है, उनको डिटेन किया गया। इसके अतिरिक्त 3 पुलिसकर्मियों को आज और सस्पेंड किया गया है। तो कार्रवाई चल रही है और एक बात के लिए हमको लगता है कि मैं आश्वासन दे सकता हूं कि कोई कितना रसूखदार होगा उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित होगी अगर वो दोषी होगा।
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Kakkad here. Mr. Kakkad, is it possible that, and he's not even one of the most dreaded criminals, the most wanted criminals, is it possible that someone like Vikas Dubey can escape the police in nationwide hunt if he doesn't have anybody's help and support and shielding?
Before I take on your question, I would like to say that what happened is absolutely painful and it should not have happened. Now, why it should not have happened? Because if you go and raid a person about whom we know that he may be in possession of arms, and in respect of this person, obviously the whole police, at least the district police, definitely knew of his antecedents, the type of weapons that he may have, the associations that he has with the politicians, with the police, whatever may be. It was not a well-planned raid. I think it was in a great hurry just to show that we can deal with you, rather than planning it adequately and then moving into it. As far as why they are not able to so far arrest him, obviously this man who has so much of context must be hiding from place to place and somebody is giving him shelter. But rest assured that if the Indo-Nepal border is properly sort of blocked for this man, then he's definitely going to be caught. But it may take time because he has too many places to hide, too many people to shelter him. They could be, mostly would be the public figures. They are the people who stand to benefit from the activities of such criminals. Somebody was telling me that the situation, law and order situation in UP has gone bad. I am not a politician, but I live in Ghaziabad for the past 20 years after retirement from Delhi. I can definitely tell you, I can vouch for it, that the law and order situation in the last 3-4 years is much, much better than it was earlier, because I have 20 years experience in the UP. So that way it is okay, but this definitely is a blot on the efficient functioning of the UP police, and sooner they correct it, the better it would be.
If not just that, Mr. Kakkad, it's not just a blot, as you say, on the functioning of the UP police. And this, you know what I still can't wrap my head around is the fact that this was not the first time they went to pick him up. They went before this as well, and then they came back, humiliated and abused. Even then, when they went the second time again, experts like you are telling us, and experts like you're saying that even the second time they didn't seem very well prepared. So, yes, obviously there is a question mark there. But more importantly, look at the brazenness and the fearlessness of this man.
Obviously, as is now well known, that this man had, there were far too many moles in the local police who were sheltering him. And then definitely there are politicians who were with whom he was hobnobbing all the time, because it is, let me tell you, there are only two people who stand to gain by the unattended activities of any criminal. One are the policemen, the other are the politicians. Now, obviously this, but I wonder why for all these months, all these years, he was not followed, he was not trapped, and he definitely got emboldened because he created too many moles in the force. I think the local police and the DGP must look into this. Is a very serious matter. It is going to demoralize many a policeman. Of course, the policemen won't get demoralized. They also pick up their morale very soon. One or two successes,
there is
and
more.
they'll pick up the morale.
Yes, I mean, messaging can work both ways. If this side has to send a message or that side, it works both ways. But it's just a sheer audacity of what he has done, that should really send the alarm bells ringing. That there isn't any fear of the police or law and order that he has. Now, why? Why is that? One will ask this question. Obviously, because so far he has survived and thrived because of his contacts in the police and political patronage. Now, this is an old comment. This is an on-camera recorded comment of Vikas Dubey from 2017, bragging about his contacts and his friends in the political circles. Watch this, viewers.
थाने में जो है तुम्हारे लिए एफिडेविट पढ़ रही हैं, तो इसको देने के लिए क्या तुमने कोई दबाव बनाया था किसी के ऊपर?
दबाव जैसा नहीं, लेकिन अपना प्रयास किया था हमने, जो है अपने लोकल लीडर्स और उनसे है जो अपने हमारे यहाँ के प्रबुद्ध लोग हैं उनसे किया था।
कौन कौन है?
हमारे लोकल विधायक हैं, भगवती प्रसाद सागर जी हैं और अभिजीत शांगा जी हैं MLA, और हमारे ब्लॉक प्रमुख हैं राजेश कमल जी, और जिला पंचायत अध्यक्ष हैं गुड्डन कटियार जी, और प्रधान लोग भी हैं 2, 3, 4, 5 लोग।
तो इन लोगों ने क्या डराया धमकाया?
नहीं, डराया धमकाने में ये इन लोगों को समझाया था कि देखो, अगर ये नहीं है और ये फर्जी हैं तो इनकी मदद करो, अगर ये मुलजिम हैं तो कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन ये चूंकि फर्जी हैं इसलिए आप इनके लिए जो है कुछ जो भी साफ करना था वो निकालना।
तो तुम्हारी पत्नी ने तो नहीं डराया धमकाया?
नहीं, पत्नी मेरी कभी जाती नहीं है, पत्नी मेरे बच्चों बराबर रहते हैं गाँव में। वो खाली बैठक जो जिला पंचायत की बैठक होती है बस उतने।
तो ये इन लोगों से जो माननीय लोग हैं तुम्हारी बात होती है?
जी हाँ,
टेलीफोनिक?
हाँ, टेलीफोनिक भी होती है, आने जाने से मुलाकात भी होती है।
तो कौन से इन लोगों से बात की पैसे से कराइए?
हाँ, नहीं, पहले तो हमारे लोकल लोगों ने कहा, वहाँ गांव के लोगों ने जब ये बात सुनी, इसके बाद फिर हमने भी प्रयास किया कि ये बात है, तो फिर इन लोगों ने मदद भी की कि अगर ये गलत इनका नाम इसमें आया है तो इसको जो है किसी तरीके से नाम इनका निकाला जाएगा।
I would also urge viewers to understand that any time that somebody claims about connections doesn't mean those connections exist. Like we always say, even if you see a photograph of someone with a big face, famous face, a celebrity or a politician, doesn't mean that they know each other and they help each other out. But this is definitely a question I want to ask Mr. Shukla. Mr. Shukla, दुबे जी तो घूमते थे अब नाम गिराते हुए कि मैं इसको भी जानता हूँ, उसको भी जानता हूँ, मैंने उसको भी बोला, मदद की। क्या कहीं ना कहीं ये काम किया आज तक? वो घूम रहे थे फ्री, किसी ने उनकी मदद की, उनको वार्निंग दी, उनको भागने में मदद दी। क्या इससे ये प्रूव नहीं होता कि उनके पॉलिटिकल और पुलिस कॉन्टैक्ट्स हैं?
तन्वी जी, आपके सवाल का जवाब देने के पहले मैं एक जानकारी देना चाहता हूँ आपके चैनल पर कि अभी एक लेटर आपने दिखाया था कि सीओ ने तत्कालीन एसपी को पत्र लिखा था। तत्कालीन एसपी जो अभी डीआईजी एसटीएफ है श्री अनंत देव, उनके ऊपर जांच के आदेश दे दिए गए हैं। आईजी उनकी जांच करेंगे, आईजी कानपुर उनकी जांच करेंगे। तो एक तो सवाल आपका जो अभी चल रहा था कि कोई कार्रवाई बड़े लोगों पर नहीं हुई, उसकी जांच के आदेश अनंत देव डीआईजी की जांच के आदेश सरकार ने दे दिए हैं। दूसरी बात अभी आपने कहा कि वीडियो दिखा के कि उसने नाम लिया है। देखिए उसने 3-4 बातें कही हैं। मैंने पूरा वीडियो उनका विकास दुबे का पूरा वीडियो देखा है विभिन्न चैनलों पर। उसने कहा कि हमारी मदद 2 विधायक करते हैं, अभिजीत सांगा और भागवती प्रसाद सागर। दूसरी बात उसने कही कि हम निर्दोष थे और संतोष शुक्ला दर्जा प्राप्त मंत्री की जो हत्या हुई है थी, चैनल भी दिखा रहा है कि उसकी हत्या विकास दुबे ने की। आम जनता भी कह रही है, पुलिस भी कह रही है, जिसमें वो बरी हो गया। तो उसने कहा कि उसकी हत्या मैंने नहीं की है, संतोष शुक्ला की हत्या मैंने नहीं की। यानी एक वीडियो में वो कह रहा संतोष शुक्ला की हत्या नहीं की है, भगवती प्रसाद सागर हमारी मदद करते हैं और अभिजीत सांगा हमारी मदद करते हैं। अभी अभिजीत सांगा मेरे साथ एक चैनल डिबेट में थे, उन्होंने अपना पक्ष रखा और भगवती सागर का भी मैंने एक चैनल पे उनका भी बयान सुना। दोनों लोग का ये कहना था कि चूंकि हम विकास दुबे के खिलाफ थे, इसलिए विकास दुबे हमारा नाम ले रहा है। और भगवती प्रसाद सागर ने तो बताया कि 2017 के चुनाव में जो विधानसभा थी जहां से भगवती प्रसाद सागर लड़ रहे थे, वहां से बीएसपी के प्रत्याशी थे कमलेश दिवाकर। वो कमलेश दिवाकर के साथ था 2017 में। कमलेश दिवाकर चुनाव हारने के बाद समाजवादी पार्टी ज्वाइन कर लिया और समाजवादी पार्टी जब कमलेश दिवाकर ने ज्वाइन किया तो साथ साथ विकास दुबे ने भी समाजवादी पार्टी ज्वाइन कर लिया। ये आज की डेट में समाजवादी पार्टी का बोनाफाइड मेंबर है। कमलेश दिवाकर के साथ इसने ज्वाइन किया और घनश्याम तिवारी जी बताएंगे, अभी उसकी सफाई देंगे, पक्ष रखेंगे। तो देखिए जो अपराधी है, जो इतना शातिर है, कक्कड़ साहब भी बताएंगे, जब वो बयान देता है और भी एसटीएफ को बयान देता है तो वो बहुत सोच समझ के शातिराना अंदाज में बयान देता है। और जो दोनों विधायकों का पक्ष हमने विभिन्न चैनलों पे रखा, उनके शब्दों को मैंने आपके चैनल पर, उनके पक्ष को आपके चैनल पे हमने रख दिया। हमको लगता है कि अपराधी की बात पे या उसके बयान पे अक्षरशः नहीं जाना चाहिए, इसलिए कि वो एसटीएफ के सामने बयान दे रहा था, यानी अपने को बचाने का बयान।
ठीक है। वैसे मनोज शुक्ला का भी बयान है हमारे पास। मनोज शुक्ला जो है, जो उस मंत्री को उसने मार डाला और जिसके केस में वो रिहा हो गए थे, उनके भाई हैं और उन्होंने कहा कि पुलिस उनके पूरा साथ देती है। वो यही बात बार बार बोल रहे हैं। पर उसके पहले मैं घनश्याम तिवारी के पास जाना चाहती हूँ। घनश्याम तिवारी, यू नीड टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दिस। नो मैटर व्हाट यू से, fact of the matter is, between the time he was arrested for the murder of that minister to the time he got acquitted, and post that, there are n number of instances and evidences that prove his links with the Samajwadi Party as well.
I come into debate, Tanvi, at 25 minutes later. Allow me a few sentences. One, there is not a single credible evidence that you can show that this man was part of Samajwadi Party. Anyone who repeats that, anyone who frames that, just like Mr. Manish Shukla did, is just giving a propaganda. Because, one, the car that you were flashing just now, which was recovered by the police, the car had Adhyaksh Hindu Sangathan written on it. The car had Sangh Parivar written on it. तो विकास की गाड़ी संघ परिवार की थी. दूसरी बात, the two MLAs in the last 3 years have not uttered a single word. This is an official statement he's made. This is an official video. In last 3 years, these two MLAs have not denied a single time. Not one BJP member has denied this video. It is only now that this video puts them in front of the people, exposes this administration. That is why they are creating propaganda. Number 3, Samajwadi Party has openly called for this government to put out his call records of the last 5 years in public domain. I challenge that this government will not do it. This man was living right under the nose of the chief minister in Lucknow, operating with full partnership and support of BJP, its organizational members, Sangh, the MLAs you talk about. He has a beaming photograph with the Kanun Mantri. Have you heard a single word from the law minister, Kanun Mantri? The photograph says that they almost are like partners with one another. Have you heard anyone in BJP, the chief minister, asking resignation of these two MLAs?
No, but that is okay,
Mr. Allow me. I've just spoken for 1.5 minutes. Just one final point. This man, this letter that you flash, just now, this letter has vanished from the police files. From the police files, when this letter is there right in front of us, this letter says 150 cases. You will not find him named as a top 10 criminal in his district, despite these 150 cases. He aided land grab. you will not find his name in any major scenario, any major file of UP government as a man who aids land grab. This man was supported end to end by BJP establishment. Now they are flashing propaganda because all these things are coming out in public domain. They cannot catch him. This administration did fake encounters on thelawalas, on mazdoors, and then boasted itself as high police, saying that we are specialists in encounters, and the reality is the letter vanishes, the MLAs are named, Sangh Parivar car is found, call records are not made public, the law minister is photograph is dreaming, and not a single answer. The only answer is a propaganda on Samajwadi Party. I categorically deny this, and I think anyone who uses this propaganda is misleading what is right now visible in front of us.
So tell me, whatever you said about the BJP, I'll ask Mr. Shukla to respond in just a bit. But tell me this, Ghanshyam, how is it that this man got acquitted in that case? How miserably did your police fail at that point of time that he got acquitted?
Well, look at the entire narrative around this man. On November 2, 2017, in BJP rule, Patrika, a major newspaper in Lucknow, prints that this man was made to surrender. He was made to surrender in 2002 at the behest of his close leaders in BJP. So right from 2002 to 2020, ये विकास पूरा BJP का विकास है. Right, this man had full support of, and the two MLAs you talk about are from two adjoining MLA constituencies in his village, around his village. So to say that these two guys don't know him is basically fooling the people. I again dare them to put his call records in public and tell us why is the letter vanished, why the antecedents of car is not being spoken about, why these two MLAs have not been interrogated, why the law minister has not been interrogated, and where is the chief minister? Why is no one asking? In 40 years, UP has seen this kind of crime. It shows that police system is completely dysfunctional, and the chief minister and deputy chief minister, who by the way have tall charges of crime against themselves. This administration is sitting in the lap of criminals. How would they answer? 88 MLAs who have serious criminal charges.
Let me get a response. Manish Shukla will respond to that. Manish Shukla will respond to that. Go ahead, please.
देखिए तन्वी जी, इन्होंने 2-3 सवाल खड़े किए. एक तो कहा कि फोटो है कुछ नेताओं के साथ. अगर कानून मंत्री के साथ एक शादी में फोटो है और रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, तो श्री अखिलेश यादव, श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव, श्री शिवपाल यादव की फोटो मुख्तार अंसारी के साथ है, अतीक अहमद के साथ है, अशरफ जिसकी गिरफ्तारी 2-3 जुलाई की रात में हुई 1 लाख का इनामी है, उसके मंच पे अखिलेश यादव खड़े हैं, और रिजवान जहीर जो गोंडा का बड़ा अपराधी है उसके साथ इनकी फोटो है, और तमाम अपराधियों के साथ श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव, श्री अखिलेश यादव, शिवपाल यादव की फोटो है. रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. घनश्याम तिवारी जी जवाब दें. और इनकी तो शादी में फोटो जो चल रही है, शादी की फोटो है, वैवाहिक कार्यक्रम की फोटो है, लेकिन मंच की फोटो है, वोट मांगते हुए फोटो है. गायत्री प्रजापति के साथ जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि रेप का आरोपी इसको गिरफ्तार करो, तो 2017 के चुनाव में उनके लिए वोट मांगते हुए फोटो है अखिलेश यादव की. क्या रेप के आरोपी है? रेप के दोषी होते अखिलेश यादव? घनश्याम तिवारी जी बताएं. दूसरी बात इन्होंने कही कि 2002 में सरेंडर किया संतोष शुक्ला ने. घनश्याम जी, मैं 98 में शासन का चुनाव इलाहाबाद में लड़ा, इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी में. मुझे याद है राजनीति 2002 में 2002 की मई जून में चुनाव हो गए थे उत्तर प्रदेश में, और सरकार बदल गई थी. 2006 में जब वो बाइज्जत बरी हो गया और पुलिस वालों ने गवाही नहीं दी, उस समय उत्तर प्रदेश में आज के समाजवादी पार्टी के संरक्षक और उस समय के मुख्यमंत्री मुलायम सिंह यादव की सरकार थी. और तन्वी जी, 2004 से लेकर 2017 के बीच में 40 FIR है इसके खिलाफ. हत्या का प्रयास, फिरौती, अपहरण, किसी में गिरफ्तारी नहीं हुई थी. हाँ, उसको सरकारी गनर दिए गए थे. उसकी गिरफ्तारी फिर कब होती है? 2002 के बाद, जब 17 में योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार बनती है, तब उसकी गिरफ्तारी होती है. 1.5 साल जेल रहता है. और जिस दिन एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटी है, उस दिन भी उसकी गिरफ्तारी के लिए पुलिस गई थी. उसको माला पहनाने या उसको गनर देने नहीं गई थी आपकी सरकार की तरह.
ठीक है,
मैं
ठीक
जवाब
है,
देता
okay,
हूं।
okay. Let me
मैं जवाब
bring in
देता
Mr. Okay, Ghanshyam, you respond, and then I have to go across to Mr. Dwivedi, who hasn't spoken so far. But go ahead, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
यानी बहुत ब्रीफली मैं बोलूंगा. On Wednesday, this man beat up the Thana in charge. The complaint was given to the police. Please, मैं आपके बीच में नहीं बोल रहा था. मैं आपके बीच में नहीं बोल रहा था. आप अपने समय पर बोलिए. On Wednesday, this man beat up by shoes the Thana in charge. This was a day before this incident happened. This man put gun in the mouth of Thana in charge. As far as crime is concerned, you can think about the level of crime that BJP is able to support when you have a deputy chief minister and chief minister who have more charges against them than you and I can muster mark sheets for us. So clearly, the administration is sitting in the lap of criminals. They are not answering anything. They have not asked a single question to the law minister. You will not find his bite. They have not asked these two MLAs to resign, to be interrogated. They can engage in whataboutery. This is all whataboutery. कि नेहरू जी कब क्या कर रहे थे, अखिलेश यादव क्या कर रहे थे. आपकी सरकार है, 40 साल में पहली बार ऐसी घटना हुई है. आपके मंत्रियों का नाम आया, आपके विधायकों का नाम आया, संघ परिवार की गाड़ी का नाम आया है, ये हिंदू भारतीय हिंदू संगठन का नाम आया है. इनमें से किसी से भी आपने इंटरोगेट किया, किसी से भी इस्तीफा मांगा. आप सिर्फ बहस कर सकते हैं. आप एक अच्छी सरकार चला सकते हैं, पुलिस को प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं.
All right, point made on both sides, and point made on both sides. All right, Ghanshyam Tiwari and Manish Shukla. I think it's very clear to the viewers that is somebody like a Vikas Dubey with over 50 cases against him, a man who brazenly shoots a minister in a rally, then hunts him down, chases him inside a police station and kills him there in front of the cops, still gets away and gets acquitted in that case, just goes on to show the kind of patronage he's enjoyed over the last many decades now. And the fact that you see two politicians here sitting and pointing fingers at each other just proves my point further. That's the only intent. Let me say good evening to Mr. Dwivedi, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Mr. Dwivedi, what I want to ask you first about is the kind of attack that took place on the policemen. The most brutal kind of attack, many say a signature Maoist attack that's not been seen in Uttar Pradesh earlier. That the bodies were mutilated, especially the circle officer was badly tortured, the way they were shot dead, the kind of weaponry that was used, the elaborate plan that was made. What does this tell you about this man and the kind of brazenness that he has? That he has zero fear of the police system.
You're absolutely right, because in my whole career I have never seen such a brutal attack on policemen earlier. And I know that most of the criminals, they try to avoid policemen when the police is coming to arrest or encounter. But in this case, he fought like a enemy nation. I mean, not only the police fought against the government also, with all the preparations that one makes from before. So he was a very daredevil criminal, and since he had number of cases against him, the police and the administration and the government, everybody, they failed to take action against him at the right time. I think it is also a failure of our criminal justice system, because he was charged for murder and then acquitted. And then he was, later also, he was arrested recently, and then he went on Zamanat. Now all these going on bail, this shows that there is some defect in the system, the defect in the police, and the defect in the politicians. So his act was certainly brazen and very daredevil. Yes.
From your own experience and your own tenure, Mr. Dwivedi, what can you tell us about this man? Back in those days, how well connected was he within the police? And I mean, there is no denying the fact that he has friends in police even now, and within the political circles.
Actually, I have retired 19 years back. So by that time, by the time I retired, he wasn't that much known, and I didn't know about him. And I was DGP in 2000 2001. But certainly the way he has risen
Yes.
in the crime world is very fast, and the fact that sufficient action has not been taken by any governments so far. Yes.
Okay, let me bring in Piyush also at this point of time. Mr. Dwivedi, around the time he gave his charge and moved on is the time that actually Vikas Dubey was coming to the limelight. That's just a few months after that is when this brazen murder of the minister really took place. But Piyush, what else are you learning so far about why it's taking them so long to find him? Is it still because he enjoys a certain amount of support within the investigating side itself, despite the massacre?
I'll bring out a similar case, Tanvi, which happened last year in March. There was this dreaded gangster named Badan Singh Baddo, and he was being escorted to Faizabad jail from Ghaziabad, and he convinced all cops to come to his hotel in Meerut, where he spiked drinks of these cops and fled. He had reward of rupees 2.5 lakh that time. One of the most dreaded gangsters of UP, Badan Singh Baddo, he fled from his hotel and he is still untraceable. It has been almost over a year now and there is no trace of Badan Singh Baddo. Almost all law enforcing agencies in UP have been trying their best to trace Baddo, but he's out in the wind and nobody knows where he is. So when I look idea about that case, and now when I look at this case, I'm somehow forced to believe that if a well-connected criminal wants himself not to be found, he'll ensure everything in his might and power to do that, and it will be very difficult for the law enforcing agencies to trace him, because in case of Baddo, STF has been on him for more than a year now, and they don't have one major possible lead or a major breakthrough in that case. So here it has been more than 72 hours. It's basically, the more the time goes on and fades away, his chances of being caught will be as bleak as, it is being said. So I think, UP police has to, mobilize more of its resources in tracing this guy. And if this guy gets away, which I think, most likely he would if he's not found in the next 24 or 48 hours, it will be, it will fly in the face of the department. Because everybody wants this man to be found, because eight policemen are dead, and this is unprecedented in the history of the department.
8 policemen are dead, and this is what I think Mr. Manish Shukla should really get the entire state's machinery going. That 8 policemen are dead, some of them so brutally massacred. It's inhuman what has been done there, and we are just not managing to find this guy 3 days later. How do we fix this problem? This dreaded police जो आपके समय में आई है, जो criminals को encounter कर देती है, या वो criminals इतना डर जाते हैं कि खुद ही surrender करके जेल चले जाते हैं, ये विकास दुबे को क्यों नहीं ढूंढ पा रही?
देखिए, पुलिस अपने क्षमता से प्रयास कर रही है, STF भी लगी हुई है। हमको लगता है कि हमको विश्वास रखना चाहिए उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस पे कि जिस अपराधी ने 8 पुलिस वालों को शहीद किया है, नृशंसता से उनकी हत्या की है, उनको उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस छोड़ेगी नहीं। सरकार के आवश्यक दिशा निर्देश है कि उसकी गिरफ्तारी सुनिश्चित हो और उसको वो दंड मिले जिसका वो हकदार है, वो दंड उसको मिलना चाहिए, और उसके लिए उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस अपनी पूरी क्षमता से प्रयास कर रही है।
नहीं, पर कोई तो आप मुझे समय दे पाएंगे, कुछ टाइमलाइन? क्योंकि अगेन मैं ये बात बोलूंगी कि इतना आपको गर्व है आपकी पुलिस पे कि ये वही पुलिस है जो एनकाउंटरों में इतने क्रिमिनल्स को मार चुकी है आपके समय में, या बाकी लोग खुद ही डर के जेल आ जाते हैं, तो कितने समय में पकड़ पाएंगे विकास दुबे को?
देखिए तन्वी जी, आपके चैनल पे बैठ के मैं टाइम बाउंड करूं तो वो अधिकार क्षेत्र मेरा नहीं है। मैं पार्टी का प्रवक्ता हूं और सरकार ने क्या कदम उठाए हैं और पुलिस ने क्या कदम उठाए उसकी जानकारी मैं दे सकता हूं। टाइम बाउंड तो पुलिस ही बता सकती है किस टाइम बाउंड में, चूंकि इन्वेस्टिगेशन के पार्ट है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है और मर्यादा के विरुद्ध होगा अभी कोई इस तरह की बात करना जिससे इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रभावित हो।
Okay, let me just bring in Mr. Dwivedi one more time before I go across to Ghanshyam Tiwari. Mr. Dwivedi, Uttar Pradesh has been famous for these characters, these gangsters or bahubalis or various other names that they have, who thrive purely because of their muscle power and political connections. And there is no denying the fact that Vikas Dubey also became that man in the past 20 years. Now, many of these guys went to jail, operated from within the jail, got into politics directly or had links with the politicians. Why is it that you think that we are not able to break this nexus, break the gangster, neta, police nexus in Uttar Pradesh?
Actually, the power, the ultimate power rests with the government, not with the police, as per our constitution, as per our rules. So even if some police officer or a bunch of police officers, they try their best, they don't succeed because ultimate power is there with the politicians, and quite a substantial percentage of the politicians belong to the criminal class. This is not, with almost every government, this has been so, and they get protection, and they give protection to such fellows. So it's really not possible for the police alone to break this nexus. We also know that the cases are not decided in the courts for years on, and that's why the morale of they get bail and they keep on committing crime. So morale of the criminals remains quite high within the system as it is, and unless everything is corrected, it is not possible for the police alone to do it. And it is also true that a good percentage of policemen themselves get involved with these criminals and give them protection. So that is the reason. Yes.
Let me ask the same question actually also to Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam Tiwari, why is it? Why is it that all of the political parties, irrespective of who is in power, these men just thrive?
Well, the whys will have many answers, and there are experts from police department who are answering it. But two things remain. One, the letter has vanished. Two, the appeal that the call records of any such dreaded criminal has to be put in public. You put the records in public and you will find the nexus. Why is this government hiding the call records? And finally, with respect to Badan Singh Baddo, that Piyush very rightly brought it out, there was report in media that this man was in Meerut in March. So clearly, the police and above the police, Yogi Adityanath's government decides that which are the criminals who are supposed to thrive and who are not. The encounters that they have done, if you just look at the story of encounters that have come out in media, these are people who seemed helpless. A thela wala somewhere, a sabji wala somewhere. These are the kind of people they have encountered and then told everyone that we are encounter specialists. The reality is that they have not been able to curb crime, and this one case clearly demonstrates that the criminals who have deep connections within BJP are not ready to bow down in front of police. They will challenge the police, assault them with their own guns, and run at will. That is the case with Badan Singh Baddo. That's the case with respect to this criminal. And my final point is that if this government does not put out the call records of last 5 years of this criminal in public domain, it means that this government was given full freedom and support to strengthen this criminal. So it is on that matter, the media must question BJP and push them to put the call records of this criminal in public domain.
Not only that, if we let the senior police officials go this time, then that puts a big question mark on the intent of the government. So far, every single time, the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh has claimed that we got this police force as legacy. that the bad state of the police force, the attitude of these policemen is the legacy we got from the previous governments. Now, if we don't change that when you have the opportunity and don't clean up the entire system, then the onus is on the Adityanath government. Now, here is Mr. Manish Shukla, who is telling us that now investigation is going to be carried out against the DIG. Anand Dev as well in this case, who actually tried to brush away the whole matter about a complaint being raised over his links in the police department. He was the one who said, oh, these kind of complaints keep getting made. It was no big deal, and now he is going to be investigated. But Piyush, let me come to you because this is going to go beyond that, or should go rather beyond that. There are reports that suggest that at least 20 to 30 cops were regularly in touch with this gangster.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is, that's the entire point about having those connections. And when it comes to criminals like, Vikas Dubey, or be it any East UP criminal or from the West, be it Munna Bajrangi, be it Brajesh Singh, be it Mukhtar Ansari, or, Shripika Shukla, who was obviously killed in encounter. So the one thing that they always maintain is a very cordial relationship with police, and cordial cuts both ways. Obviously they, the gangster or the criminal would be obliging the department, and the department will obviously be paying that favor in some or the other way. In this case, it was obviously about, the tip-off that went around. So the problem here is that the department first has to start cleaning its own mess in the department itself. And here the mess is obviously piling up, and the mountain is getting bigger day by day. So it was initially, it was cops at Chaubepur police station. Then it came to the SHO. Now the former SSP, role of the former SSP is also being probed. So I think, this time, this is the time, this is the case. This entire case has to be, an example has to be made out of this entire case. Once you take the accountability to the top of the ladder, then there will be a message that, once you try to shield or you try to, kind of deflect all these issues, which, pester in the long run, there will be accountability and you will have to, pay for it. So this is, I think, I have my, doubts about it that, this will be the time some accountability will be set on the senior cops. They'll all get away with it. All these investigations, somebody rightly pointed out that, there was a call of investigation against the former SSP. But the thing is that, this is just an eyewash. This story has been playing in media day in, day out. So they just want to divert the attention for a while. Once, the media attention is off this entire case, it will be like what happened in case of Badan Singh Baddo. Nobody would care about where is Badan Singh Baddo. So Badan Singh Baddo has been out for a year now, and nobody is asking questions. Even in the media also, I am from the media, I'm blaming myself that, that story is gone for us. Now there is a new story. Soon this story would be a past for us. So that's how it is. And, this is where the advantage cuts in for people who are linked to them, who are directly linked to them. The politicians, the cops who are directly linked to Vikas Dubey, they are waiting for the time when the story dies down in media. That's where, it will all end for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? And I agree with you, Piyush. And perhaps, media also needs to do its part here, because let's be honest, unless and until there is constant scrutiny and constant questions being raised, the intent always is to let it just die out, and then we will manage it. We'll suspend a few officials, we'll transfer a few, we'll open a probe and shut it down, and then life will continue. So, I think it's time for you and I and our organizations to decide this, that we are not going to let go of it. 8 policemen have been killed, and it wasn't their fault. It's the rotten police system and the rotten political system, which is why there are 8 families which are completely shattered tonight. And this should not be allowed to go unpunished. Completely out of time. I want to thank all of the panelists who joined us on this conversation, and we are going to continue asking questions to the UP government until there is justice, until we hunt down Vikas Dubey and some amount of justice is done. And you know why? Because he's gotten away far too many times. And I want to play out one comment that we got from somebody who's gone through it. From the man who lost his brother to this man and who has seen Vikas Dubey evade the system, play with the system, mock the system again and again and again. This is the brother of the Mantri who was killed and nobody was punished for that. Listen.
पुलिस तो लोकल थानों की हमेशा संदेह के घेरे में रही और इसके कहीं ना कहीं खर्चे पे, पैसे पे, दबाव पे कहीं ना कहीं इसके उस कारण पुलिस जो है इसके दबाव में रहती थी। ये सिवली, क्योंकि उस समय बिकरू गांव सिवली थाने के अंतर्गत आता था। इसके बाद उसने 2001 में भाई साहब की हत्या कर दी थाने के अंदर। फिर लल्लन वाजपेयी पे हमला कराया, उसमें 3 लोग मौत के घाट उतार दिए गए, लेकिन दबाव में पुलिस कार्रवाई नहीं कर रही थी। उसका दुष्परिणाम ये है कि जिस बेल को पुलिस ने बोया था, आज वही बेल पुलिस विभाग को खा गई।
Viewers, like I promised you, we are not going to stop following up on this story. Not only because there is a dreaded gangster out there roaming freely, but for far too long, these gangsters have taken everybody for a ride. Run their extortion rackets, kidnapping rackets, money laundering, and every other dirty business from inside and outside the jail. Enjoyed the patronage of the police and of the politicians, and the Aam Aadmi has suffered. And I am not going to give up on this story because for every single time that we have been told by the UP government that they have cracked down on crime, that they have killed XYZ number of criminals in encounters, and the rest have been so scared that they have surrendered themselves and are all behind bars. This is a living example that when it comes to the hardened big criminals, they fear no one. And 8 policemen have been massacred. Never in the recent history have we seen something like that happen in Uttar Pradesh. There have to be some heads that roll. We must catch Vikas Dubey. Completely out of time. Thank you for joining us.